Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Money.
Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. And also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Hi, I am Mr. Money, and I bring you Airtel Money, the fastest, safest way to send money, pay bills, top up, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Hello and welcome to our main news desk. To present it, my name is Mubanga Chimambo. First, a look at stories making headlines. Grand Coalition suspends Young African Leaders Initiative YALI from the coalition. UPND youths warned Daniel Munkombwe for insulting UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema. Zuno opposes demands by members of parliament to have their emoluments increased. And in international news, Libyan rebels attack Tripoli's main airport. These plus many more stories, do stay tuned. Now the main news in detail. The Young African Leaders Initiative YALI has been suspended from the Grand Coalition with immediate effect. The suspension of YALI from the Grand Coalition follows what the coalition terms as gross betrayal over the Constitution. Speaking in an interview with Prime Television News, Zambia Development Conference ZADECO President Langton Sichone says the manner in which the YALI president acted was not right and has betrayed the coalition. He says it is shocking that YALI President Andrew Ntewewe went behind closed doors to meet with the Justice Minister without informing members of the coalition about his dark corner meetings. Mr. Sichone says the executive met this week to determine the fate of YALI as a member of the coalition.
To compromise the way we are fighting of the draft constitution. I think that we have seen that SACOD did the same thing to us, and now it is YALI. We cannot continue being stabbed by our own organizations that are part of the coalition. And for us to be able to excel and to be able to do things right, I think that we need people who can stick to their positions and be able to relate with everyone else in the Grand Coalition. And we are hoping that there will be no other organization that will behave like YALI, that will behave like SACOD, so that we do not split ourselves, neither that we do not see ourselves disintegrating. I think the most important thing is that we should remain united and be able to thrust in so that we can have the release of the draft constitution.
The Zambia Union of Nurses Organization ZUNO has expressed disappointment over demands by members of parliament to have their emoluments increased. ZUNO President Tom Yungana, in an interview with Prime Television, has expressed shock that members of parliament are demanding a pay rise when they are the ones who had unanimously voted for a national wage freeze. He says Zambians should embrace a culture of distributing national resources equally and not creating artificial social strata that would subject others to different codes of conduct. He says the issue of the wage increments should be approached cautiously, as it had the potential of raising unnecessary conflicts within the country if seen that some sections of society were benefiting more from the national cake than others. He has since urged members of parliament who voted for the wage freeze to leave by the collective decision.
Well, as Zambia Union of Nurses Organization, we are very disappointed with the debate pertaining to the pay rise of MPs. In fact, what we expected is that MP should be pushing for supplementary funding so that the salary freeze is lifted. The Parliament had approved a national budget that provided for two very unpopular things: salary freeze and net recruitment freeze, meaning that workers in the public service will stay for the whole year 2014 and 2015 without salary increment, and then they will stay for the whole year 2014 without employing or creating new positions in the public service. For us in the health sector, that is even more bad, because the health sector right now is operating with less than 50% of the required manpower.
ZUNO has called on government to ensure that it increases funding to the health sector in the 2015 national budget. Mr. Yungana says the country's health sector still has tremendous challenges, such as low staffing levels and bed space, hence increasing funding to be allocated to recruitment and procurement of beds and linen should be considered. He says Zambia is currently at 10% in health funding, which is still below the Abuja recommended standards of 15%.
There must be enough money provided to the health sector to meet the 15%, which is the Abuja Declaration. I'm sure you recall that African governments convened at one stage and agreed that 15% of national budget should go towards health services. In Zambia, for the 2014, we are at 10.1%. So we are very much below the expected 15%, which even our own government agreed to. So we are demanding that for the 2015, let there be at least 15% allocation to the health sector in terms of national budget. That way, a lot of things will be responded to. They will train more people, they will recruit more health workers, they will provide adequate medication to people, and indeed facilities or infrastructure will be developed adequately.
The Judiciary and the Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA have signed a memorandum of understanding seeking to reduce road carnage through persecution of road traffic offenders. RATSA Chief Executive Officer Zindaba Soko says the signing of the MOU is as a result of the recognition that the persecution of traffic offenders is fundamental in bringing behavioral change. Mr. Soko adds that the MOU is well timed to the United Nations Decade of Action on Road Safety to reduce road accidents by 50% by 2020. And speaking at the same occasion, Chief Justice Administrator Odwin Zekemnenga says road traffic cases are not complicated and can be disposed of in the shortest period of time. A governance activist, Maurice Malambo, has urged opposition leaders and the ruling party to learn lessons from other countries in the region. Mr. Malambo has advised the government and other leaders vying for positions not to take Zambians for granted, but respect them for having voted them into office. He says lessons can be drawn from Libya, where Muammar Gaddafi was ousted by the Libyan people because he was never willing to do the people's will. Mr. Malambo says coups in Egypt and other parts of the world should not be taken lightly, adding that Zambians should learn from that and not make the same mistakes. Mr. Malambo said this in an interview with Prime Television.
Learn from what is obtaining in countries that unorthodox means have been used to remove a government and bring about another. In countries such as Iraq, you were able to remove Muammar Gaddafi. In Libya, Egypt, you were able to change government and replace it by another. But at the end of the day, sectarian violence still continues, meaning that countries that have the power to engage militarism and remove a government that is oppressive to the people must be extremely hesitant to do so. Instead, what is important is to try and put in place platforms through which the people themselves in those different countries are able to remove governments.
And just now we get back to our earlier story where RATSA has signed a memorandum of understanding with the judiciary. The judiciary and RATSA have signed a memorandum of understanding seeking to reduce road carnage through persecution of road traffic offenders. RATSA Chief Executive Officer Zindaba Soko says the signing of the MOU is as a result of the recognition that the persecution of traffic offenders is fundamental in bringing behavioral change. Mr. Soko adds that the MOU is well timed to the United Nations Decade of Action on Road Safety to reduce road traffic accidents by 50% by 2020. And speaking at the same occasion, Chief Justice Administrator Odwin Zekemnenga says road traffic cases are not complicated and can be disposed of in the shortest space of time.
Motorists on the highway have lost their lives due to ignorance and failure to observe road traffic regulations. Many a time that motorists feel they know all traffic regulations, but in many cases they don't. And this has resulted in unnecessary road traffic accidents and death. Realizing this, Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA and Judiciary have signed a memorandum of understanding seeking to enhance cooperation for the fast-track courts and prosecute road traffic offenses. RATSA CEO Zindaba Soko says the MOU introduces measures to reduce road crashes in Zambia.
In terms of the cases that we've recorded in terms of drunk driving, and we believe that we are actually going in the correct and right direction, and we are there actually to complement each other with the judiciary so that at the end of the day we could write a better story on road carnage.
And Judiciary Administrator Odwin Zikamunenga says the fast-track courts have been working well and are disposing of 30 cases each day.
This will in effect also lead to a reduction in road traffic accidents on our roads, which you have alluded to, Mr. CEO, as we may all be aware, have claimed a lot of lives in the recent past. And it's inevitable that the establishment of fast-track courts will help to eradicate the number of road accidents which have been prevalent on our roads.
A number of vehicles coming into the country has increased, and this has resulted in a number of road traffic accidents to go up, because sometimes due to poor driving and failure by many drivers actually to observe the traffic regulations. It is very much hoped that with the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the judiciary and the Road Transport and Safety Agency, road traffic accidents would drastically reduce around the country. Reporting for Prime TV News, Daniel Tonga, Lusaka.
Zambia has been experiencing power deficits following the rapid economic growth over the last 10 years. In view of this, different companies from Lusaka have met to showcase initiatives on various energy sources that can be used to generate energy. The meeting follows as the country observes the Energy Week. And speaking at Akedsmo to observe Energy Week, ZESCO Chief Engineer Wycliffe Chipeta says the initiative is a welcome move for all competitors. He says the solar energy system and all initiatives by other stakeholders will help uplift lives of people in the country.
Yeah, as you know, the energy sector has been liberalized in Zambia. So new players or independent players are free to come and invest in the energy sector on the market. That's why government in the first place set up the Energy Regulation Board to oversee that there is fairness in all players in the energy sector. So other players are welcome. I can give you one good example where we have partnered with Indola Energy, who are generating power using HFO or heavy fuel oil at Inden. So they are generating about 50 megawatts, which is pumped in the ZESCO system, and we are buying that and distributing to the nation.
You're watching Prime Television's main news broadcast. Just now we go for our first break, but we have more stories still to come. Do stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Money! Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. And also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Hi, I am Mr. Money, and I bring you Airtel Money, the fastest, safest way to send money, pay bills, top up, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
We continue with the rest of the news. Most road traffic accidents could be attributed to a lack of road signs on the Zambian roads. It is for this reason that several stakeholders in the road sector are meeting in Lusaka to address the challenge. We have more in the following report.
Several highways in Zambia are lacking clear road markings, giving a challenge to motorists to drive on. This, in most cases, has resulted in road traffic accidents. It is for this reason that key stakeholders in the road sector are meeting in Lusaka to address the issue and see how best to make the Zambian roads safer and better to drive on. The workshop has been organized by Zam Legend and has drawn participants from across the country, comprising of government and private stakeholders. Zam Legend Road Marking Limited Director London Ngoma now sheds more light on the workshop and its significance.
When we looked at the current situation, we saw some gaps where somebody will mark the road today, is paid, before even the check, the ink on the check dries up, the lines are gone. But we had no means of recalling that contractor to come and do the work because he has been paid. And we also, with this equipment which we try to introduce on the Zambian market, where you measure the reflectivity of the paint. So when you are given a contract, when you finish 1 month, they measure. The readings should be the same. 6 months, again, you come and measure. If the readings are falling, then you call the contractor, come and do the work. Then that continues after 1 year, then again, you have to measure the reflectivity. So that's how now you maintain the standards, because the guy who is not prepared to maintain those standards definitely wouldn't want to be subjected to that testing. So the testing will be mandatory.
Communications and Transport Deputy Minister Panji Kaunda, who officiated at the event, was meant to understand some of the road marking equipments to be used in some road marking demonstrations to be done on Saturday. And in addressing the gathering, Kanyo Kaunda says proper road markings have the potential to minimize road accidents in the country.
As we are aware, our government has impact on the huge infrastructure development, particularly in road sector, but are alive the fact that the construction of roads alone is not an end in itself. This road infrastructure development will require appropriate intervention by ensuring that quality and durable road markings are carried out.
It has been linked that the government will only award contracts to companies involved in road marking whose paints are able to stand a test of time on the roads before they can fade. Kalan Muchima reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
The Lusaka City Council, LCC, has expressed concern of an increasing number of illegal bars and taverns in compounds. LCC Public Relations Officer Mulunda Habenzu says the council has been trying to bring sanity into the compounds, but the members of the community have not been supportive. He notes that members of the public should be like the #1 police in compounds, but there's also need to act swiftly to ensure illegal structures are closed. Mr. Mulunda says the council officers have been sent into compounds to close illegal bar, but have been attacked by some members of the community. He notes that it is expensive for the Lusaka City Council to send officers to the compounds to close illegal bars, only to end up being attacked.
If we have the support from the community to say, there's this somebody who is doing an illegality in this place, the moment the officers go there, the community is willing to support the officers who will have reduced on these complaints coming in. But the challenge we have is the very people in those areas, they start beating up the officers who go to help them. So how do we handle such issues? It becomes difficult. And we are not going to send the officers in the field to go and, to be attacked. No. So we need that cooperation from the community. We know it's very challenging. People would give us all sorts of reasons. There are no employment, you know, this is where we feed our families. But of course, you see, even in poverty, there should be dignity. And what we're trying to control here is let's do things in a normal way. You can be selling beer here, the next person doesn't, you know, like it. And that's how complicated, you know, the city arrangement is. But for us, we need to find a middle ground where we can, you know, facilitate to see that this person is happy and the other one is happy.
Meanwhile, Mr. Habenzu has asked residents in the country to effect a citizen's arrest on any person found putting up posters of manhood enlargements. Mr. Mlunda says Zambia is a Christian nation and people must act to reduce activities that promote immorality in the country. He says the community have been given a mandate to act when they see people putting up such posters.
If the community is going to say no to this, in this area where we are, no posters of enlargements. When we find a poster of enlargements, let's remove it. You see sanity in the city. You see cleanness. And we are making this appeal. Can you help us? We don't need the posters for enlargements. Wherever you see them, pull them out. If we are responsive, we go and do that, you see that within a week we'll have cleared everything in the city. When you find somebody putting those things, citizen arrest. Hand them over to the police. We don't need such messages. This is a Christian nation. So we are still making an appeal. We are intensifying our efforts. We started the activity using our council police. We want even to use our casual workers. In town, wherever they are, they will be instructed, when you see these posters, put them down.
In other news, UPND youths in Lusaka say Southern Province Minister Daniel Munkombwe should be the last person to talk about their leader Hakainde Hichilema and the party. UPND Lusaka Province Chairman for Mobilization Nathan Piri says it is sad to note the continued unwarranted attacks from Mr. Munkombwe targeted at their leader. Mr. Piri states that the party has great respect for Mr. Munkombwe, urging him to refrain from making provocative remarks about the party. He says the UPND has no time to engage in a war of words with Mr. Munkombwe, as he is a Finnish politician surviving at the mercy of the Patriotic Front government. Mr. Munkombwe has been quoted as having accused Mr. Hichilema of being evil for talking about the health of President Michael Sata.
Very unfortunate that Daniel Munkombwe issued a statement to say that Hakainde Hichilema and UPND have got evil minds against our president. Us as UPND, we are just the mouthpiece of the people who doesn't know the health of the president, and actually we are insisting and will not stop. We want to know the whereabouts of the president. So what we want, we demand to know the whereabouts of the president rather than speculations. And for George Chera, he should stop also issuing political statements, because we feel that George Chera is a civil servant. He's a civil servant who should actually tell exactly what is on the table rather than cheating Zambians. And we are tired of all these lies. So us as UPND youths in Lusaka will continue demanding the whereabouts of the president. We want to know if our president is sick. It's better they tell the nation so that the people can pray for him.
Meanwhile, the UPND has expressed disappointment with the Patriotic Front government for only evacuating President Michael Sata's son Kazimo to South Africa for specialized treatment, leaving behind other injured persons. In a media statement, UPND Vice President for Politics Canisius Banda says government should have extended the same treatment to other victims of the accident rather than prioritizing only the health of President Sata's son. On Tuesday, President Sata's son Kazimo was involved in a road traffic accident that left him with head injuries. Others in the accident include the late President Levi Mwanawasa's niece, Tabitha Musamba Chime, and Chiefs and Traditional Affairs Deputy Minister Susan Kawandami's two sons, Stephen and Chisanga Kawandami. And just now we take a look at how the kwacha is trading against other major currencies as compiled by Prime Television. And just now we go for another break, but when we come back in some international news, several shells have hit the terminal of Libya's main airport as rivals continue to fight in Tripoli. Do stay tuned.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
We continue with the rest of the news in international stories. Several shells have hit the terminal of Libya's main airport as rival armed groups fought in Tripoli for a fifth straight day, and gunmen assassinated a female politician in the country's east. In another sign of growing turmoil, air controllers on Thursday halted work in Tripoli, shutting off much of the oil-producing country from international traffic. Tripoli International Airport has been a battlefield since fighters attacked it with heavy guns on Sunday to wrestle control from a rival militia which has been based there since the fall of the late Libyan ruler Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The conflict is fueling worries that Libya is on a point of turning into a failed state where a weak central government is powerless to control the militia which helped oust Gaddafi in 2011. The airport fighting pits brigades from Misrata against rival fighters from Zintan in the northwest. Still in international news, the Islamic State group has threatened Christians in the Iraqi city of Mosul with death if they do not convert to Islam and pay tax. The Sunni rebel group issued the order in a letter after Friday prayers. The document obtained by Al Jazeera states that the order was issued after Christian leaders failed to attend a meeting called by the group. In response, the group says a letter that Christians must either convert to Islam or pay a social tax on non-Muslims known as jizya or face death as a last resort. Mosul's Iraq's second largest city was overrun by the Islamic State group and allied rebel groups last month. The Iraqi army units stationed in the city, most of whom were Shia, fled after the group crossed from Syria and attacked the north of Iraq. And just now we have a roundup of some more international news courtesy of Al Jazeera.
Israeli troops have invaded Gaza, killing at least 24 people overnight and on Friday morning. The ground offensive began after 10 days of airstrikes and shelling of the Palestinian territory. The Israeli government's trying to stop Palestinian fighters from firing rockets into Gaza. Within the last hour, the Israeli Prime Minister has announced the scope of the offensive in Gaza will widen. Allow access to the crash site of a Malaysian airliner apparently shot down in the east. All 298 passengers on board were killed when the plane crashed in an area controlled by the rebels. They say they'll agree to a truce for up to 4 days to allow the recovery of victims' bodies. Both sides in the Ukraine conflict have accused each other of shooting it down. The Boeing 777 took off from Amsterdam at midday local time on its normal route to Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia Airlines says it lost contact while it was in Ukrainian airspace. The jet crashed near the village of Grabovo in the self-declared Republic of Luhansk. It's about 50 kilometers from Ukraine's border with Russia.
And as we come to the end of the news, we take a look at stories that made headlines. Once again, the Grand Coalition suspends the Young African Leaders Initiative YALI from the coalition. UPND youths warned Daniel Munkombwe for insulting their leader, Hakainde Hichilema. Zuna opposes demands by members of parliament to have their emoluments increased. And finally, in international news, Libyan rebels attack Tripoli's main airport. And that's it from the news desk. On behalf of the entire news and studio crew, my name is Mubanga Chimambo. Enjoy the rest of the broadcasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Money! Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. And also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Hi, I am Mr. Money, and I bring you Airtel Money, the fastest, safest way to send money, pay bills, top up, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Atata. Wabula.
Nilikuona kasuli hapa.
Ni ndio yangu mimi ivuta.
Mwana bishi ya mwana. Leo mnyamata.
Kawo tu.
Ati?
Kawo tu bo.
Hey, iwe. Akama kitu bwanji.
Kaya na misinzi. Kala kibwanji. Ndi kawo tu.
Ndimwe ndani?
Ndime maninga.
Ndime maninga. Hey, maninga. Nisina maninga ni chinyama.
Ndimo ndo. Munga de boku tukwane pamene hapa. Vitundu vinango kubizika.
Wachokera kuti?
Yaswa ko kundo sabulangola nchi.
Nchi? Vina pimveka ka? Umvera?
Nambera ko chenchi.
Nchito?
Sabulangola nchi tosanga takuchaniki nchi tokono.
Daliso. Ni malirime ni chana kamba huyu muntu.
Ni wabwino.
Hey. Bafunika wino tata house ida.
Mafumu.
Hey! God hefe.
Fancy ku mafumu kuno. Why kuyimirira? Ai.
Hey! Daliso. Aha!
Zikolano fu. Chito ni dabu.
Sikom. Maputo.
Yo.
Hey! Sikom. Mwaigwira ntchito. Aha! Iwo kamba malirime zime sitimvera ise pano bwino. Kala site. Kalapa. Mpando. Wale sampando. Checha. Kurumisa. Wale sampando. Monica Mafoka. Aha. Very good. Mwagwira ntchito. Maputo. Mwagwira ntchito. Vamesivi kumana ni binyama. Aha. Penina ninakona tu mpanika hapa. Narulota mwamuleta. Misimu zaida bwino. Sikomo. Mwampesa kutu.
Ndoze msanga. Dalishi.
Kuvuta bwati.
Tavuta.
Aha. Analukanira chano bwera kuno.
Kaya wewe.
Mwaona ka?
Konechani.
Ati?
Konechani.
Wasani yaka hiyo.
Isa yanke si ndio mkuu wanga. Isa yanke.
Sasa simeno lalo uchiti pamene sinalipo pano nasimfa.
Nesta chani.
Unachita?
Nesta chani.
Okay.
Soni, panasunga bana wako. Kala siri. Usena siri.
Usinipasa ulemwi. Kakile ni mkulu wako ini. Noneka kamngono tupi. Koma ndine mkulu wako. Usinipasa ulemwi. Nile fumu ine.
Mfumu ni vako.
Wati?
Ni pana wako.
Iwe. Ngatusomera naine sinsalo basuba hii. Pasa yera hii.
Sio vijavandizo kama. Waona ka?
Wadini. Wadi. Karibu. Amani.
Amani.
Hey.
Mchana bwino wapi?
Ya itachoma mwachomati.
Choma bwino mwachomati.
Kaya mwachomati au itachoma kaya mwachomati.
Mai, mchana bwino ka? Gani, sikuwa kari hapa.
Ngibana pa.
Gani, chapa.
Mama ite ulangizwa mene mwambo mena alipampa mtoto na kazi pampani. Nakali mtengeza.
Kalani mai.
Mimi shalangizi.
Ndio alangizi.
Mai mwachitabu bwino.
Mai unaweza kufuna kuchana.
Mai mwachitabu bwino bwe.
Au mwachitabu bwino mwandi mai kuweda. Sina problem usifanye.
Toyamba nive umoyo kuti kamuli cyane.
Ise tichape bwino batine pangono mwandi kumbali kwanga mwandi.
Mwandi mwachitabu bwino. Amaye mwani nyani? Mwachitabu bwino. Amane mungu ngubali hapa mwachitabu bwino. Haya mwachitabu. Mama bwino wewe vile tanu bwino wote hapa. Ya mama. Pano pa nyumba palivuto. Mimi mwachitabu bwino bwa pano pa nyumba. Nena kondwira. Pauti ni mwalangizi. Shuwa. Anene ni mlangizi wa mpamba. Mzati onesa pa. Mlangizi chendi ne. Wala aja bwela mena weka ndio muli ne. ngapo.
Problem ili pano amasa tamangiro kama.
Mate utagira problem. Ona kaida wewe labira. Nekana wa mjana labira. Mukona kana naruma ndiwo tisunga baka.
Problem ili pano nana mama. Pano nanti kapapika pomo. Ayona tipika pomo. So makastoma chakawela pano kutine kambe kuchepena makastoma. Uyu nsanje. Mayona usasa.
Mate kuli muntu alitamangira kwenda kukamba kani. Kayo kamba kani kapasa pamela.
Nchite chape ukabwera kwamba kumwacha bemo. Mayona batula ni milisi mama. Mayona milisi. Ndine nalima ka. Pamuku ndine nalima. Mayona mayi mwanakazi waso mwachitabu unazofana konka kuti ndibwere manje uku.
Bayire ndishani.
Wati?
Bayire
ndishine. Usikarake yafu. Aha.
Nena kwa shani.
Ninakusira mpando ini. Aha. Bali napita kumsonkhano ku Lusaka. Zose semena unachita, zose semena unamanga kale